only have one travel plan, not four. But anyway, that's when you get there, you click on it and you will get this. And I and Elise from the ISP office are populating it. That's the jargon we use for filling in these forms. But you have some things that you need to do. So here are all of our travelers. I don't know if everyone else shows up. One of the things you need to do is you need to go in and edit your own thing. So I click on me, everything's done. See my names, my contacts there, my phone, are we back on? My phone number's on, my email's on, etc. Rachel, how did you get to edit yourself?
Oh, I didn't. I'm not on there.
Okay, well somehow you're not on there? You're right here.
My stuff is on there, so apparently I didn't fill the right stuff.
Okay, well anyway, one of the things, I'm sorry that I don't know how to do this part of it as well. One of the things you want to do is go in and edit your personal information. And I'm sorry, my view is showing the whole class, but what you want to put in there, a lot of stuff will already be there. Your student ID will already be there, your most current address. You want to put emergency contact. Jake, that will be your wife, Chauncey. For most of you, it will be a parent. Okay, it might be a roommate or a friend. I think it's not put on his friend there. So put on an emergency contact and just any information that you need to do there.
Okay, so how do we do that?
What's that?
How do we do that?
Yeah, I'm suddenly blanking. Because I can't do it on the group. Somehow you're supposed to be able to go in and edit. Are you on it now?
Yeah.
Okay, click travelers, and what do you get?
Let's see.
Do you get
There
a
is
list
no
like
traveler,
this?
but I can see a traveler. It's a wonderful one.
I think you do have to add your own travel plan.
So you add your own travel plan
Oh, okay.
to the thing.
Okay,
and
sorry,
then
I just
see
started with the
the-
travel plan already there. So tell us how to do it. What do you have there, sister?
At least that's what I did, but my stuff isn't on there either.
Okay.
So if you click on, like on the main page.
Okay, let me do this. Let me sign out. And Rachel, why don't you come up and put you in. So log in as you. You have to log me out. BYU ITMS, not dot, just the search. Okay.
You saved yourself.
Can't save myself, Jesus saved me. I know.
Well, apparently Jesus saved you to this.
Not the BYU space ITMS again.
Huh.
Travel plan. Access the service. Click that. Okay, click start a new travel plan just to see what would happen. Okay, you're already booked in there. Okay, go back. View travel plan. Click yourself.
Well, as I clicked the travelers button, it said that I wasn't allowed to look at it.
Okay, but see what she just got? Okay, go back and show them exactly what you did. Go back one more. Okay, so when you get this, go to this ancient classical studies, click view travel plan. Okay, click yourself where you're blue. There's your information and edit. See the edit button? There you go. Okay, and this is where you do your contact, your emergency stuff, etc. Okay? Now, can you step away? Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so back to the plan itself. So once you put that information in, you can look at the itinerary as it develops, and she should still have all the stuff I put in there. This is what I need you to do. You need to add an item for your flight if you did not do it through BYU Travel. So if you do pre-travel, there are no pre-travel items. Somehow you're supposed to add your flight. Play with it. I don't want to take too much time. Have you done it, Jake?
I had to create an entirely new one for like pre and post
Okay.
trip.
And there's a way to enter your flight information on.
Yeah, you enter an itinerary item, okay, and it's, but anyway, I'm thinking particularly about Emily, who talked to me about going to London early.
Yeah.
When you enter your flight, and I don't see the button here, mine has a button right here that's called Add an Itinerary Item. And you can choose travel, accommodation, activity, or excursion. You pick travel, you enter your flight information. If your flight is before the 5th, it will appear in pre-travel. You then want to add accommodation and add the place you're staying, okay? Your case, make sure it's the right clean hostel, it's being Gray Road.
261.
Okay. I know, for instance, Julie is meeting her father afterwards. Because your flight will be after this is over on the 24th, it will punch it into post-travel. You're going to want to put each of the cities you're visiting, and if possible, a hotel. You don't need to do any more detail than that. That's just so that if there's an emergency while you're traveling, BYU will know how to find you. Now, all this other stuff, you see, it's just kind of crazy here. Jake, you pass these out. So I had this produced as a handout. It's not completely done yet, but I want to walk you through a couple of changes I've made and let you see the general flow of things, because I know some of you want to make some extra plans. For instance, if you have to reserve the Harry Potter, and where is our Dachau person? Okay, I spent a lot of time figuring this out. So if anyone else is interested, I really want at least 2 other people to go with you. Okay?
Dachau, got it.
So it's going to be tight, but you need to plan it. But if you plan it, it can work.
Oh,
Where's my Neuschwanstein people, this person?
I could do that too.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Okay.
The train schedules didn't work to get you to the Fairy Tale Castle.
Oh,
But for
that's
those of you who want to see Dachau, it can happen. So I just want to let you know I was trying to accommodate things that weren't ancient and Near Eastern. Holocaust and Harry Potter. Okay. All right, well, this is my dream, and I want it to be your dream too. So, in fact, I was joking with Aaron Rose, and I said, is it usual for a study abroad to take over your life? I did no other work except teach my 2 classes yesterday, but so look with me on June 5th. Okay, this is what information we've entered in so far. So you see that we're going to be at the Clink Hostel on Grays Road. And I'm going to pull up the tube schedule in a moment, but you're all flying into Heathrow. You just want to take, and I'll show you how to do this, but you want to take the train into London and go to St. Pancras Station, and you can walk from there to where we're staying. We got that hostel, even though it's in a weird place, because it's right by the museum and the library.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why we're there. So hopefully you will arrive before 6 o'clock. So I will be in the hotel mid-afternoon, and I'll give you my phone number. You can text me, you can call me. When you check in, get your luggage in, you can walk around, you can look around, or you can nap. But at 6 o'clock, we're going to have dinner together. Some of you are old pro travelers. Let me just tell you right now, I happily medicate, and I'm not ashamed. And I'll tell you why. Years ago, one of my senior colleagues, Kent Brown, was traveling with President Faust. And he said, Brother Faust, you older brethren, you're all over the world, you do these conferences, you fly here, you go to a meeting, you go there, how do you do it? And President Faust pulled 2 vials out of his pocket and said, wake, sleep. I totally take an Ambien on my international flight, I sleep the whole way over. Once I get there, I stay awake till it's time to go to bed. I take an Ambien the first 3 nights I'm in a new country, just to get myself on the schedule. You may think I'm a sinner. I bring a 6-pack of 5-hour energies. And my first couple days, I take 2 a day, because they'll tell you, a museum the day after or jet lag. So when you see me swigging something, do not judge, okay? But I'm really saying, you want to get on the schedule as soon as you can. So although it's okay to rest, I really would not nap that afternoon. I'd walk around, I'd stay awake. If you're not into taking drugs, don't take drugs. I know, word of wisdom, spirit of law, blah, 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 blah. But if you can sleep that night, that's ideal, because fortunately for you, yes?
I just also have a really good trick to get you onto the time zone when we get there.
Okay.
It's something that my doctor told me to do.
Oh, is it a food, a diet?
No. It's just something you do on the airplane while you're landing.
Okay, good. We'll talk about that in our packing meeting.
Yeah.
I had planned to hit museums at 8 in the morning, but as it turns out, they don't open till 10. So the runner groups, they want to get up, no matter how tired you are, go on a run or go on a walk, get up and move, okay? We will be in the museum that day from 10 to 2. The reason it's a little longer that day is because Karen Milstein, who's one of our Egyptologists, is in England, and he's going to do a little Egyptian lecture for us. Then I'll turn you loose to look up your Egyptian things and your Near Eastern things. And then you are free. So from 2 on, you do whatever you want. My preference, groups of 3 or more, okay? But what you're going to want to schedule out, I mean, and what I'd like to see you do on your own, I will do all the ancient stuff. I'd like to see a discussion group or stuff, and you list some of the best places to see. You know, you want to take a picture by Buckingham Palace, you want to go to Westminster Abbey, you want to go down to Houses of Parliament, you know. List the kind of things you would like to do. I will be going to St. Paul's and Westminster Abbey for Evensong 2 of those 3 nights, because that's just what I do. Now, Wednesday is a longer day than I planned, but part of this was to accommodate Harry Potter and other kind of things, like Tower of London, if you have to get tickets or whatever. So I decided to leave Thursday is now totally open. So the British Library scratched that off on the 8th. So we're doing the British Museum from 10 to 1, that's the Greek and Roman stuff. And then we will have an hour to pick up some lunch as we walk over the British Library. And we're there an hour and a half for the tour. You look at the exhibit, the public exhibit before you go, and then you're free for dinner in the evening. But that gives you, what's that?
Is that Wednesday?
That's Wednesday. But that gives you Thursday free, complete day. You can get up as early as you want and go as late as you want. Okay, I just thought that would be better than breaking it up. And then, I can't go over all this because I want to talk some specific things about London here before we're over, but I just wanted to walk you through this. So then we go to Paris, then we go, I just wanted to get the things that are a big deal, then we go to Berlin. In terms of those who want to start thinking about Dachau, we arrive in Munich at about 4, so by the time we get to the hotel, store, luggage, and then go to the Altstadt, the old part of town, for find places to eat, and have a little free time, that day's done. Once again, this is why the Schwanstein didn't work out. The museums don't open until 10. If we could have started at 8, I could have had you done by 12, you'd have the whole afternoon. But we have a museum at 10, 12, and 1. Now, I will help those of you, in fact, if you go to the itinerary item in ITMS, I gave you train and bus schedules. So I mapped out exactly how to get to Dachau, so you have 2 hours before it closes at 5, and you can get back in time for dinner at 7. But those of you who do that, that's on the ITMS as an excursion, which means an optional away from group trip. I just need to know who all's going, and you need to be secure that you're going to be able to get there and back. Because if you miss dinner, you'll be really sad, because this is in the 800-year-old beer hall with Bavarian music and wenches with pretzels and baskets and lots of meat. Okay. One other day, just because it's what I spent my entire day on, turn to Greece. If I do this again, it needs to be 2 full days in Athens. Why I thought I could do Athens in a day plus church was madness. But just to show you, it's a day, you better be over jet lag by then, because it's going to be a day like nothing I have ever done, and I'm a pretty rigorous traveler. We are going to have a sunrise devotional on Mars Hill and read Acts 17 together at 7 o'clock. Well, it's because the Acropolis opens at 8. I thought we'll get there, we'll do the Mars Hill thing. That will kind of make any of you who feel bad, we're only going to you're not going to Sunday school, this will be better than Sunday school. So we'll have our own devotional on Mars Hill. We will be at the Acropolis the minute the doors open, which means before the crowds are done. We'll go down the Agora, we'll then go to the new Acropolis Museum. Unfortunately, church used to be 5 blocks away, it is now in the suburbs. So we will negotiate to get to church, and then we'll come back and do the Royal Palace and watch the Greek version of the changing of the guard. It's little men in skirts with pom-poms. But anyway, we'll watch them change the guard, the Temple of Olympian Zeus, and then we have a really, really fun dinner planned. So anyway, all of the days will look like this in ITMS eventually.